Throughout the day, we have to make some very high-powered decisions. Many things that we have to deduce, look through, overview, make very hard and fast decisions on. Some of them involve great stakes, a lot of people involved, a lot of responsibility, and so there's this very intense pressure that we're carrying around in our psychophysiological selves at all times. Even when we try to de-stress and let that go and come back into our home environments or relaxation environments, there's this residue within our self. This residue is within 4 dimensions of our experience. One of them is the physical domain. So this residue of tension that's stored in our body comes from decisions and experiences that we're finding there's challenges, difficulties to, and our mammalian self, our musculature, just starts to create these subtle tensions in our body. You know, we've heard the saying, this person's got a tight ass, they're a tight ass. Well, of course they've got a tight ass because their anus is contracted, and it's contracted because that's a fear center of the body. And most of the time when we're making decisions, inside our consciousness, we're looking at all the what could go wrong. It's happening because we have to survive. And our survival mechanisms gets us to look at that side, especially if we're wired more for security. So when we're making these decisions, and we're going, is this safe for me or is this not? Will this bring greater return based on the risk involved? That is happening on multiple levels. At a physiological level, it's happening with our breath. So when there's high intensity, high stakes decisions, our breath gets tighter, it contracts, we speed up more. There's so much that needs to be said and has been said regarding the physiological effects and what hormones and what's being released and what brainwave rhythms. But boiling it right down, the faster you breathe, the access to greater wisdom is more shrouded. The access to the depth of your knowingness is filled with interference patterns. And so the way to really start this process of undoing this tension that we're carrying around, so we're able to make very clear, conscientious, awake, solid decisions, ones that serve us, that we would go, yes, we don't need to make that. But if you're oscillating and you're moving at a very high frequency, you're breathing deeply, your heart beats up, there's tension in your body, you're probably going to be making a lot of decisions that you shouldn't be making, based on the frequency of living in that space. And it could be evoked from people around you, from the news, from the environment, from the stats and numbers you've looked at today, from many, many reasons. It's our responsibility as awake entrepreneurs, as leaders, to be able to notice, slow down, and have self-awareness. It's not just about mindfulness. It's about bodyfulness. Body awareness, my friend. So if you take a moment now and scan your physical body from the bottom of your feet to the top of your head, like a laser scanner or a photocopier machine where there's this bright light that goes back and forth, just imagine that's going all the way up and down your body. And inevitably you'll find places that you're holding tension physically. It's a good place to slow down and start breathing deeper, noticing that area, and bringing your attention to where you're tight with your musculature. It's very simple, a timeless practice, always worth doing in this moment. That automatically will slow down our breath, give us deeper access, wiser access, cleaner awareness of reality without the overlay of reactivity and interference patterns. Now we can go deeper. There's the mental level, which is constantly worked up. Our mind is always looking for some way to gain more freedom in things, some way to gain more advantage. And the way to start to relax the mind is to go peripheral with your vision. So take a moment and allow your vision to go peripheral, meaning expand your point of view. You could do this with your eyes open or closed. If your eyes are closed, it's called meditation. But don't just sink and fall inward. Just continue to expand until you are aware that there is no edge. You're edgeless. It's all edgeless, ultimately. And when you're relaxed in this place, when you allow your peripheral vision, inwardly or outwardly, eyes open or closed, to become spacious, the mind naturally slows down. And then we can see the mind as it appears rather than be caught up and drawn into the drama of the mind as the actors that we're playing out in everyday reality. I'm sure there is character actors, and perhaps we've all become character actors, but there's time to leave the character alone. Let it rest. And relax into the who and what you are that's prior to any labels or conditioning or frames or viewpoints. And yet you're still there. Who are you that is the thinker? Who is thinking anything right now? Put your attention on that one and expand open as that. So now we've dealt with the body, ways to relax by scanning and feeling. Our body holds tension in survival areas because and this is very connected to the emotional part now, the next body to look at within ourselves to bring around depth of awareness, to bring around powerful choice making and decision making coming from your depth of clarity and centeredness. It's essential. And that's to look at your emotions and to feel them. What are your emotions right now? What are you feeling within yourself? Is there any discord, tension, anger, resentment, frustration, animosity, worked upness, anything you're holding in that's stewing underneath your skin? Is there any type of feelings of loss, betrayal, guilt, unworthiness? Maybe right at your identity level. Maybe feeling you're not good enough. Any of these things. This is all connected to your emotional body. And the way to start relaxing that and not having it have a grip on you is to realize that whatever you're worked up in your emotions, whatever you're worked up about, it's because you've attributed units of importance to that experience. It may seem very important to you, but trust me, 5-10 years from now, you're going to look at whatever challenge you might be having as a learning experience. You've already experienced that with other things in your life, where they were an intense challenge in the past, and now they've given you great wisdom. Well, so will this, but you can start now. You can start looking at your emotions and feeling for them and say, where am I adding way too much importance? You know, those are just characters and identities. I don't need to get embroiled in this. I don't need to get stirred up by this individual, what they've said or what they've done. I can start letting go of the things that draw me and pull me in, the prices of this, the politics of over there. Everyone has a way to get snagged emotionally. It's time to master ourselves and not allow anyone or anything from outside or inside to snare us up into any type of volatility. We can choose to be buoyant in our emotions, allowing ourselves to feel everything, whatever's there fully, without any resistance, knowing it's just something that's going to come through if we allow ourselves to face and feel fully any images that are there with our emotions, any thoughts that are there, any emotions, and any body sensations. When we go deep into this realm, and it happens, and we open, there's something there, and that's who you are. You're the one that has the capacity to experience and feel all of this. Welcome to yourself on this path of awakening the sage within you, the warrior you most likely have been working on for a long time.